It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccer Files Canada. Welcome to our continuation of Series 19. This one looking at the players of the 2023 Asian Cup. This episode is part 2 on the players of India. Final selections and starter predictions. Here we go. Of the players that we think are going to start. So a bit tongue-in-cheek we do this because we never really know, and we always get surprised when the first team comes out. But anyway, manager Igor Stimac will consider a starter, as it were. And then, hang on, I'm just going to find my spot again on my list so I can say what I need to say as we're going through this. Goalkeeper Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, we think is a definite starter. Actually, Amrinder Singh did start the second World Cup qualifying game, but we don't think Singh Sandhu's starting position is under threat because of that. In central defense, it was consistently Sandesh Jingan and Ali Anwar, as to the point that we weren't even sure who the main backups were going to be. Anyway, we still put Sandesh Jingan as a definite starter, but now we're not. Now we only have a hint of who's going to be, and who it was in the World Cup qualifiers were out of position players. So a real shortage of central defenders for them here, and the ones they do have, they don't actually use. So it was actually Rahul Beke, and we did see him standing in central defense before, but he also did in one of the 2 World Cup qualifiers. We also saw left back Mishra in the World Cup qualifiers playing alongside Jingan. So of the 2, we would say Rahul Beki looks like the first backup central defender. And because Anwar Ali is out, we give him a likely chance of being a starter in central defense here. Let's move on to left back, to the player we just mentioned, and Akash Mishra. We've now put him as a likely. At the end of part 1, we would have put him as a definite, but he didn't play either game as left back in the World Cup qualifiers there in November. He did start one game as a central defender, as we saw, but now we're in a bit of doubt as to whether he is going to be the left back. We think Bose actually might have a chance of being the starter there. On the right back position, we think it is going to be a rotation, or possibly one or the other, of Nikhil Pujari or Rahul Beke, even though Beke seems to be slated as a central defender here, especially with Anwar gone. We still do see him starting as a right back. So in this case, we might actually see both of these players get starts. In the central midfield, we were very steady with Jeekson Singh and Thapa. So we saw Jeekson Singh is out injured. Thapa played only one of the preliminary games, and that was as an attacking midfielder. So they're kind of rewriting the whole book in the central midfield. And we think perhaps Suresh Singh and Ralti, who started both World Cup qualifying games, might be the starters there. But as you saw, we had ranked Suresh Singh as only a possible candidate, and Ralti as a possible but unlikely. So they're not experienced in that position at all. Nevertheless, we are going to put as a likely starter Suresh Singh, but they really have to figure things out there. And we're going to see that in the top end of the field. Things are very unsettled. And we're surprised for that reason that they didn't play a couple of friendlies pre-tournament, actually. But left wing, we're not even going to nominate a candidate. The left winger Nayarim Singh did start one of the World Cup qualifying games, but as a right winger. The out of position players starting on the left wing were a right winger and a forward. So really unsettled there. We have no idea what they're going to do. On the right side, though, we do think Changti, Lalianzuala, Changti has a potential to be a starter. We're putting him in blue highlight, saying that we think it's likely, but we're kind of hedging our bet. So he did seem to have the position nailed down, did Changti, until he didn't start either of the World Cup qualifying games as a right winger. He started one as a left winger. So they're kind of all over the place here. Central, we didn't have a name for left winger, Changti for right winger. Central attacking midfield, they don't use a position that much, but they did use it once in the World Cup qualifiers, and it was central midfielder Thapa. So we see a lot of players playing out of position here for India. The forwards, though, there's no doubt about it. It's Sunil Chetri as the starter. Number 11. Keep your eye out for him. And we do have one special mention, kind of a player. We're not really sure where he's going to start, but we think it's likely that he will be a starter. It's Sahal Abdul Samad. So he is designated or labeled as an attacking midfielder, but he sometimes plays central midfield or somewhere else on the field. In the his only start of the World Cup qualifying games, he popped up as a left midfielder, as he is wont to do, kind of pop up in any position. Okay, that is it for the Spotlight review. We'd like to thank Naber Abidcham and Pixabay for the wonderful music you hear in this mediacast. The title is called Arabic Trap.